here's the latest news. This is from ABC News.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Biden said yesterday he guaranteed, according to ABC, he guaranteed that if elected, Obama will be tested by an international crisis within the first 6 months in power, and he will need supporters to stand by him as he makes tough, possibly unpopular decisions. Quote, mark my words, it will not be 6 months before the world tests Barack Obama like they did John Kennedy. The world is looking. We're about to elect a brilliant 47-year-old senator president of the United States of America. Remember, I said it standing here with you. If you don't remember anything else I said, watch. We're going to have an international crisis, a generated crisis to test the mettle of this guy. I can give you at least 4 or 5 scenarios from where it might originate. He then talked about the Middle East and Russia as possibilities. He said he's going to need help, and he's going to need the kind of help from you, not financially to help him. We're going to need you to use your influence within the community to stand with him, because it's not going to be apparent initially. It's not going to be apparent that we're right.
The hell
What
does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
What does that? Gird your loins?
Gird your loins. Gird your loins.
It's been a while since I've even heard the gird your loins phrase. And when you apply it here, it's pretty spooky stuff.
Look, we are going to be tested. America is down right now to the rest of the world. They see that we're fundamentally unhinged. And so, yes, it's called the perfect storm. That's what it's called. It's called the perfect storm. We've been talking about it. We've been warning about it. But what is he insinuating here?
And let me ask you this. If this was John McCain insinuating some kind of major strike or international war scenario.
Of course. But
it would all be politics and the politics of fear.
Go beyond that. He's saying, he's predicting that what he knows apparently what's coming our way, and we are going to appear internally to be on the wrong side, and he's going to need us to hang with him. What scenario are they possibly talking? And by the way, Joe Biden wrapped it up with this comment. He said, I shouldn't have said all of this because it dawned on me that the press is here. Hey, Stu, I know you and Dan were talking about it during the break. Do you have any idea what that Joe Biden could be possibly talking about? I mean, he said in a statement on Saturday. Now, listen, for the first time ever in our country's history, both parties, both candidates, and both teams have been briefed before the election by the FBI on what's going on. They are now getting briefing. I mean, America is at the edge, and most people just don't know it. For the very first time, they just started getting briefings. So because the FBI and the president doesn't feel that there's any time to be lost, they must be up to speed on absolutely everything that's going on in the country. So they're starting to get their confidential briefings, which used to happen in the transitional period. Now they're getting their education right now. So I don't know if this is inside information. I don't know. But he just said on Saturday that Joe Biden, quoting, he guarantees that we will be struck in the next 6 months and that we will be it will appear as though we're on the wrong side of the issue and Barack Obama will need your support. What does that even mean?
I mean, we were stretching to come up with some way to justify this or understand it. My thought was he's saying, because he's talking to liberals here, and he's saying, look, in the first 6 months, we're going to be tested by something. They're going to try to someone is going to come after Obama because of, he needs to be proven as a world leader. And at the time, we're going to have to be tough. And even though it might be the more popular thing here, but it might not be. It might wind up looking unpopular for us to not do anything and not be militarily active in response. I need your support to back us up here because, again, you have to ignore Joe Biden's voting record on the issue, but look at Iraq, essentially making the case of Iraq. It was really popular at the time, but it was the wrong thing to do, and we should have stood up against it.
Gird your loins. We're going to win with your help. God willing, we're going to win. But it's not going to be an easy ride. This president, the next president, is going to be left with the most significant task. It's like clearing the Augean stables. Ugh. I don't even know what that means. But he's just like me on Amtrak. This is more than that. This is more than that. Think about it. Literally think about it. This is more than a capital crisis. This is more than just markets. This is systematic problem that we have with this economy. That this is a sign on this that it is, oh my gosh, I was looking at it. You know, because he said earlier, he was talking about Russia and the Middle East, I was thinking that we would actually be struck. I can give you 4 or 5 scenarios where it might originate. Then he talked about the Russia and the Middle East. He's going to need your help because they're going to look like we're not right. But then he goes off and says this is more capital crisis. This is more than markets. It's a systematic problem with you have of this economy. Oh, my gosh. What do you think of this scenario? I told you earlier that, you know, I brought up Bretton Woods 3. And people are calling for one currency, one global currency. You tell me, he says, I'm going to need to use your influence within the community to stand with him because it's not going to be apparent initially. It's not going to be apparent that we're right. This, you know what? This fits. Could be one global currency kind of stuff.
Wow. Yeah, or nationalizing industry or something to that effect. Yeah, that one does. I didn't hear the economic sort of context of that. That does.
No, neither did I. Frightening. That's frightening. Oh, it's not going to be popular, but just trust us. Oh, yeah. I trust you.
Gang. I talked to a guy on Saturday, and I had him. He's worked for 3 days trying to get the statistics down. Inflation right now is at 13%. It's what do they say it is? 5.5%. It's real inflation. If you calculate it the way it used to be calculated before 1983, before we started putting in the automatic Social Security step-ups and all of the spending step-ups based on inflation. That's why they changed the inflation calculation. So the government didn't have to spend all the money that they just promised everybody. So inflation keeps getting retabulated, and the formula has been changed like I think 4 or 5 times now. If you look at it the way we used to tabulate it, inflation is at 13%. But the number of dollars that we are printing and digitizing is off the charts. Stu, did you see the chart that Stephen Moore gave me last week?
Yeah, I think I did. It's basically a straight line up.
Yeah, it's a slow build over the last 20 years of just kind of a slope, and then it just goes straight up from October. And that's the number of dollars that we have printed and how we have run the printing presses. What people don't understand, and I'm hearing it now on television, all these people saying, the market is 205. Oh, it looks like maybe we've hit the very bottom. Maybe we're turning this thing around. First of all, it's going to be unstable for a very long time. But if we spend the money that we are talking about spending and we don't stop printing soon, you're going to see this inflation go up. You're going to see defaults go up, unemployment go up. And that's the time that, Stu, do you remember I said you introduce hunger and fear? And you have somebody who says, I have the answer, and people will follow. This guy is setting us up right now saying, I have the answer. Trust us. An international crisis is coming within 6 months. And you're going to have to trust us. And it's not going to look like we're right at the time, but we're going to need you to stand up and trust us. Good God in heaven. What does that mean? And the real question is, will anyone in the media lead with this tonight? Will anyone in the media demand that there's an answer for this? What do you say is coming? What do you have a responsibility to tell us, and what your possible scenarios would be that would look so wrong? Where did you get this information? Is this secret information? And it also shows their arrogance. Obama is so convinced, as Nancy Pelosi says, 100% that he'll be president of the United States. If it has anything to do with war, with military, he doesn't even flinch, knowing that John McCain wins in that battle. They don't flinch because of their arrogance.